Up against 34 Double D Slam Anderson, pretty evenly matched off the line. However, Jammer for Texecutioners making her way around the last line of defense, the pivot for No Coast, and she picks up lead Jammer status. That's Olivia Shootin'
And both Jammers are through the pack. I know the crowd at home is going to have to cheer because it is a No Coast crowd here in the arena. But Texas on top of this jam, trying to get through and getting through, calling it off very quickly, is Olivia Shootin'.
That's right, so No Coast was at 4 points and took that lead. However, Olivia Shootin' able to bring that back up to a tied game. So Texas now sitting at 4, No Coast sitting at 4. Texas again, if you just joined us, wearing the black with red accents. No Coast wearing the white with black.
That is correct, and you're going to see a heavy dose of Flash Gloria here. Won a couple of awards last year, South Central Regionals. She is up against, lining up on the outside, Vicious Van Gogo. 1853 for Texas. Slow start to the pack, full complement, nobody in the box.
That's right, Flash Gloria, number 32, able to sneak around on the outside line as she picks up lead Jammer status in favor of No Coast. Good news for No Coast.
And Vicious Van Gogo goes to the box for a major back block. Wow, early out in front is Flash Gloria. Here in jam number 2.
Huge pileup on the straightaway between turn 2 and turn 3. Looks like Flash Gloria she picks up those 4 points, calls off the jam, decides she's going to end it right there so she can start out with a fresh jammer in the power jam because Vicious Van Gogo is still sitting in the penalty box.
And of course she will be back on the jammer line when she gets out of the box, but we've got Cobra Kai, number 505 for No Coast. Also, one of their mainstay jammers. No one in the box for No Coast as they are going to start automatically because they are out of play.
So Velvet Crush and Nikilia were working the back angle of that pack, and Texecutioners working the front of the pack, and the ref indicating that the pack was actually with the Texecutioners. Belle Star recycling to the front there to try to stay out in front of the jammer for No Coast, 505 Cobra Kai.
Her and Smarty Pants as they are trying to hold back and Texie the back, which means Cobra Kai is released. She is lead jammer. They have a third lead jam out of 4 here early on in period number 1. Into the back of Belle Star. That is a major back block. Cobra Kai to the box. That will release Vicious Van Gogo. It also means there is going to be no lead jammer. We've got a minute 12 to go in this jam.
Yeah, it actually took the previous jammer 30 seconds, or about 30 seconds, 28 seconds before she could actually get through the pack to pick up that position before she ended in the penalty box. But there goes Vicious Van Gogo. Oh, huge hit there.
Now, Texas playing the slow. The pack has barely gone into the back stretch as Vicious Van Gogo
She got knocked out of
bounds. That looks like that's a low block major. A little bit of a sloppy penalty, but she tried to do the job. Meanwhile, grand slam Vicious Van Gogo.
Yeah, she first got knocked out by Nikilia, then she got knocked out by Thicker Than a Snicka. Now she's through for another grand slam. Just quick movement on Vicious Van Gogo's part. I mean, just amazing speed, and the pack almost comes to a stop, but she's just racing around the track.
And by the time you finish that sentence, and I get ready to say third grand slam for Vicious Van Gogo, 15 points. And again, the pack has not moved half of the track. Vicious stops behind a little bit of a small 2-wall there. Cobra Kai is back in Spider. That's
right, so genius pack play there on the part of the Texecutioners as they stop that pack so that their skater could get through and their jammer could score all those points. Vicious Van Gogo actually going out with Brooke and Hearts there at turn 1, and the jam is called off.
But very effective work by Texas as now they have gone up 22-11 here at the beginning of jam number 5.
And you know, I spy with my little eye several skaters out there rocking the Atom Wheels. Atom Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. So if you're joining us here at WFTDA.com, remember to check out all the DVDs from Easterns, which happened 2 weekends ago, Westerns, which happened last weekend, and again, what's happening here at South Central's.
Olivia Shootin' getting through your lead jammer for the Texecutioners. Meanwhile, Slamma Anderson stuck in the back. Looks like Killa Salmonella and Loose Bandit holding her back along with Curvette. Coming around to score Spider.
Oh, huge hit there. Loose Bandit actually getting around one of the blockers there, the 00 Kelly Ripa for No Coast. And here comes No Coast Jammer, 34 Double D Slam Anderson, right on the heels of the jammer for the Texecutioners.
As Olivia Shootin' up at the front of the pack. Nice skip move to the inside, scoring yet another. No, throw the thumb back. Only 4 points on that pass.
Yeah, she sliced through Kelly Ripa and Thicker Than a Snicka from No Coast. Remember, if you just turned in, No Coast wearing the white jerseys, Texecutioners, Texas Rollergirls wearing the black with red accents.
And now she gets the thumb, a grand slam for Olivia Shootin' as she did get all of the points. Texas putting on a little bit of a grand slam clinic the last 2 jams, turning it around, but there's a lot of fight in the dog that is No Coast.
Yeah, actually the jammer for Texecutioner is actually able to just skip right around the outside around number 37, Brooklyn Hearts from No Coast in the white jersey, and she's engaged in pack play. However, Olivia Shootin' gets pushed to the center of the track. She's forced to re-enter behind the pack. Texecutioners goading somebody at the back, forcing the No Coast girls to allow Olivia Shootin' through to pick up another grand slam.
As she calls it off, right then, Killa Salmonella goes to the penalty box for a major. Did not see that call. However, Texas is going to start short, and we've got a timeout. Looks like it is being called by No Coast.
No Coast, apparently might want to discuss sort of the roll-away game we're going with Texas currently. However, No Coast within their reach to sort of whittle down on that point differential if they can shut down the powerhouses of Olivia Shootin' and Vicious Van Gogh.
Well, they certainly do have an uphill battle, but with 22 minutes and 31 seconds left, we have plenty of time as, again, we have an official a No Coast timeout. They're going to try to stop a little bit of that bleeding that started to happen as they took an early lead and then Texas coming back. Again, we thank you across the world and across the nation joining us here on day one here in Kansas City, Missouri, as we look like it started again, Spider.
Sometimes it just takes that minute for a timeout just to stop the momentum of the other team. So you're really trying to burst through.
Now, somewhere we've got a power jam in charge, in Texas' favor, because it looks like the jammer was sent to the penalty box for No Coast. That's slamming Anderson. So Bloody Mary up against a wall of white, gets through lead jammer, Bloody Mary.
It does look like number 22, Polygon, now headed to the penalty box. I did not see the penalty called on her. It looks like maybe she's getting waved back on the tracks because she actually incurred a minor rather than a major penalty. So she's rejoining the Texecutioners as at the back of the pack. But Bloody Mary, she's just trying to sneak right through there. She finally gets around Champagne up at the front of the pack and number 726, Dropkick Muffy.
Good work by Texas, controlling the pace. Lucille Brawl, Molotov Impale, and the new Texecutioner in Polygon, a recent transfer from Gotham. Texas glad to have her. I'm sure some of her sisters at home are listening in, giving good cheers, but Texas absolutely controlling the pace here, up front led by Lucille Brawl.
So as No Coast trying to get up there to help their jammer get past the pivot, number 56, Lucille Brawl, it does like 34 Double D Slam Anderson able to get through on her non-scoring pass.
Took a lot of effort, but good work staying on it. Meanwhile, the pack coming through turns 3 and 4. Pretty compact. Lucille Brawl goes down, gets back up. Bloody Mary trying to get past a 2-wall as that jam is called.
It actually looked like No Coast picked up the speed of the pack to try to shut down Bloody Mary from putting any more points on the scoreboard. Texas now sitting with a considerable lead at 50 points to No Coast's 13 with 20 minutes, 50 seconds left on the period clock.
Once again, if you guys are joining us and you have not upgraded to the HD feed, what the heck are you doing? Because we're looking at it right now, and it is phenomenal. It's like sitting here with us, and you know you would like to be sitting here with us, but since you're at home, we'll let you know that that is Vicious Van Gogh on the line and number 32, Flash Gloria, Spider.
Absolutely right. So the first whistle has gone, and the blockers have all left the pivot line. There's the second whistle. And both now skaters engaged in pack play. It does look like Flash Gloria trying to go right through the center of the pack. She runs into a 2-wall of Texecutioners at the front. She gets knocked down at the straightaway, hops right back on her skates. Huge hit by Smarty Pants. And she pulls through to pick up lead jammer status. That's number 32, Flash Gloria, rocking the white jersey.
With a hop, skip, emerging from the pack is Vicious Van Gogh, but Flash Gloria the mainstay jammer, getting through. A nice move around, calling it off in front of Loose Bandit. Flash Gloria looks like it will be Texas's pain in their side. They're going to have to control her, or maybe they're going to let her have her points and try to control everybody else. We'll see. 50-17.
And speaking of pain, Dr. Hauschka is the official bruise healer of the WFTDA. So lose that bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid. That'll be Cleo Smakia, number 22, Cleo Smakia, skating for No Coast as the jammer, and she's going to go up against Olivia Shootin' Huge shoulder check there by 402, thicker than a snicka.
Thicker than a snicka. It looks like they're having a little bit of a dance match there, and I'll tell you what, those two girls can solve that later at the after parties this weekend, but right now it is Olivia Shootin' getting through that mambo for lead jam, and Thicka is going to go sit for a wallflower minute.
Yeah, I believe that she picked up a counterclockwise blocking penalty as she'll spend a minute in the box. However, Olivia Shootin' able to get through that 0-3. Olivia Shootin' pulling a grand slam, 5 points on the scoreboard for the Texecutioners. Oh, another skater for No Coast now heading to the penalty box to join Thicker Than a Snicka. That's number 699, Champagne.
As she gets through for another grand slam, a nice hop move on the inside there, and now back around. And again, the same exact move for yet another grand slam. 15 points, Olivia Shootin' as Texas, care of Miss Ambush, Lucille Brawl, and Curvette holding the pack tight with Sarah Hype.
And 10:55, Judo No now re-engaged in pack play as 699 Champagne not able to sit in the penalty box because the penalty box was full of blockers. And now she is making her way to take that seat, spend that minute. No penalty trouble here for No Coast, working against them because the Texecutioners just taking advantage of this as Olivia Shootin' 0-3 pulls around Judo Knows the last line of defense for No Coast.
Now with 30 seconds to go, 25 points already is Olivia Shootin'. She's going to go for that 30 points, and she does get it. That so far is 6 grand slams, 17 seconds to go. If Texas's defense can do it, we could have at least a record for today. And we'll see as, no, she gets it. No, she stays on the inside. Gets knocked back. The clock is not working with her. Olivia Shootin' doing what she can as 1 second goes. She gets 4 points. Spider, that was a 34-point jam.
Record for today. That was Judo No, 10:55. She actually did amazingly recycling work as she pushed Olivia Shootin' out of the way, recycled all the way to the back of the pack, forcing her to re-enter behind her, burning off that clock, and not allowing her to get at least that 35th point.
Now, all you fans out there in Lincoln, Nebraska, don't fret. Your team has a lot of fight in them, but Texas taking a command right now. That could have happened to anybody, just one of those jams. But they're going to have to turn it around, that being No Coast, 84-17, Spider.
Oh, Bloody Mary just able to run around on the outside line, immediately picking up lead jammer status almost as she hits that apex. Past turn 1, amazing footwork on her behalf. Now the Texecutioners all recycling to the front of the pack. No Coast working that back 3 wall. We've seen a lot of that. And here comes number 699, Champagne, as a reinforcement for No Coast.
Now that is the first not lead jam for Flash Gloria, so Texas did its job there. She is 3 lead jams out of 4, but Bloody Mary controlled and called this one off. There you have it, 16 minutes left.
Have you been smacked by rollergirlsskates.com yet? If not, you should go and check them out. And I would almost guarantee that they're probably going to show up next weekend at North Central playoffs. And if you have an opportunity to head there and see that championship or see that playoff tournament, please go ahead and do that. If you can't, go to WFTDA.com, pick up the DVDs while you're there today. If you're not using the high-quality stream, do it now.
Everybody lining up as they want to sit back on the jammers. We've got Vicious Van Gogo and Slamela Anderson, but through not lead jam, no pass, no penalty. Vicious Van Gogo and your lead jammer, that means calling it off, Spider.
That's right. So Slam Anderson, 34 double D, she gets to the pack. She sees that she's lead jammer, and Vicious Van Gogo did not pick up that position, so she calls off the jam so that Vicious Van Gogo doesn't score any more points, as Texas currently sitting at 88 to No Coast 18.
So the same strategy, successful but no points last bout. So now they're going to be back up against Olivia Shootin'. But Olivia Shooten-John versus Flash Gloria the first time this afternoon.
Right, and so we're looking for Flash Gloria to be as effective as she has been previously. Looks like Curvette covering that outside line, number 76. Oh, Flash Gloria running into a wall there. I think that's Loose Bandit, the front, the pivot, it is. And she finally gets around her, picks up lead jammer status. That's like 5 out of 6, right?
That is absolutely correct, but did all they could. However, Olivia Shooten-John, not lead jammer, as she's already approaching the pack, but not before. Let's see if she got a point. And she did.
She did. She actually pulled up 3 points to the 1 point for No Coast.
On one jump. That was a nice display of athleticism there by Olivia Shooten-John.
If you want to check out some athletic photographs, you're going to want to check out No Mercy, the new Derby photo book from Jules Axel Adams Doyle. If you haven't seen it yet, go take a look.
Oh, it's
beautiful.
It's absolutely amazing. It is like a yearbook of Derby. All the old schoolers, you can see, back to the track action. Sorry, that was a big hit on Thicker Than a Snicka, care of Bloody Mary.
It was huge. Looks like Thicker Than a Snicka was going in for that hit. And Bloody Mary able to counteract it and just tumbled her to the ground. Beautiful work.
But she is not the jammer in the lead, as we've got a multiplayer block being called. She is out front, still gets a grand slam, not lead jammer. That still can be taken by Cobra Kai for No Coast.
Yeah, Nikilia and Brooke and Hart's actually working that front of the pack. Looks like the Executioner is now pushing Belle Star, I believe, out to the front to try to break up that 2-wall. Great work by Executioners to try to create a hole for their jammer. There's, Thicker Than a Snicka trying to make that connection. She narrowly misses.
She was trying to come back from that early infraction, if you will, with a Bloody Mary, but Bloody Mary avoids that, the feisty veteran. But Cobra Kai trying to get past the wall that is Molotov Impale and Belle Star, the Jamakilla, as we are about 45 seconds left in this jam. Number 12, period number 1.
And Bloody Mary with amazing pack awareness and awareness where all of those other skaters are from the other team. And there she goes. She does pull through. That's Cobra Kai, 505 Cobra Kai in the white jersey. She pulls through, picks up lead jammer status, and immediately calls that off.
Meanwhile, the Executioners have reached 100. They're at 101 to 19. Still have 12 minutes to go. Back to that No Mercy book by Jules. As we got cut off there, absolutely amazing. All the photos, it's like a yearbook of the last 5-6 years of Derby. Again, all the old schoolers can reminisce and all the new schoolers can look back, and it's just a beautiful coffee table book. And now back to the action.
So we have Vicious Van Gogh. She is skating unopposed from the jammer line. She's going to get through on the inside line. Oh, she's not. There, my mistake. No Coast jammer now at the back of the pack as Vicious Van Gogh pulling around the apex between turn 1 and turn 2 and all the way down at the other end already. No Coast Flash Gloria struggling to get through the pack. She's looking for a window, but number 22 Polygon and you said effect.
4 more points for Vicious Van Gogh, and I'll tell you what, Flash Gloria has been up against the veteran, one of the originals, Lucille Brawl, who just cannot get past the stripe in her helmet.
Lucille Brawl actually trying to recycle and get in front of Flash Gloria, number 22. Flash Gloria is able to get through the pack. She does not pick up lead jammer status, obviously, and she's skating pretty slowly. Back blocking penalty. And Vicious Van Gogh calls off the jam.
Now that was a minor back block on Vicious Van Gogh, so lucky, even though the skater fell forward, they only gave her a minor as we go into jam number 13 here in historic Municipal Auditorium, Kansas City, Missouri.
If you're getting knocked around on the derby track, or maybe off the derby track, a Protect Dent mouthguard might be the best option for you. The first thoroughly scientific mouthguard for any derby player. Protect Dent mouthguards.
And we've got Olivia Shooten-John up against Slam Anderson.
Olivia Shooten-John getting knocked out. She's then recycled to the back of the pack, trying to make her way around the 2-wall of No Coast. They're just threading her through, staying out in front of her as Curvette trying to get in and break up that 2-wall. That's 699 Champagne.
Finally, lead jammer for Olivia Shooten-John as that 2-wall surpassed the 3-wall being held by Texas. Still holding back Slam Anderson, who's not made it through. Approaching the back of the pack is the speedy Olivia Shooten-John. Texas's defense just locking and loading here late in this period.
That's right, as Loose Bandit working the front of the pack. And now it looks like Olivia Shooten-John looking for a thread through. She gets knocked out of bounds by the pivot for No Coast. And then the jammer for No Coast also taking a spill. That's Flash Gloria.
And here we go through the turns number 1 and 2. Olivia Shooten-John trying to get some help from shortcut. She gets that help, gets through, scoring 5 more points. Meanwhile, Corvette knocking down Slam Anderson.
Yeah, a considerable lead here by Texas. They're sitting at 114 and No Coast 19 with about 9 minutes left on the period clock. Olivia Shooten-John trying to contend with a pivot there for No Coast. The No Coast pivot almost taking a little bit of the spill at the straightaway as 34 Double D Slam Anderson finally makes it through on her non-scoring pass.
Oh, we hope we are not lulling you to sleep, and you should not be with this amazing action going here today. We're again glad you are joining us. I'm sure that there are some frantic watch parties being Friday afternoon, everybody gathering together around their computers or at their local establishment. We are so glad, whether you're in the U.S. or worldwide.
And you know, if you miss the action all throughout the day, you are already on WFTDA.com. Check out those DVDs. You can always purchase them. If you're buying the high quality stream, they will archive them, I believe, for a certain time frame, and you can go back and watch the action later.
Bloody Mary gets a minor cut there, but finally does still get through, gets lead jammer as Belle Star slows Thicker Than a Snicket in the pack down.
Yeah, so down Flash Gloria again donning the star for No Coast. She is just being sat upon by Belle Star 1889 as Belle Star just tremendous job at positional blocking. It does now look like they're going to trap the jammer and another skater at the back of the pack. And there goes number 30, Bloody Mary, for another 5 points for the Texecutioners.
And still stuck at the back of the pack, Flash Gloria. If I'm correct, last year she won MVP, if I believe, of the regional. The team trying to put her on the back, but it does take a team, and they have a lot of fight left in them. You can see it. It's just that Texas is taking care of business as they should.
10:55, Judo No now back in pack play as number 11, Velvet Crush, unable to stave off Bloody Mary's. Bloody Mary pulls through for another 5 points. That brings Texas to 129 to No Coast 19. And if you just turned in, No Coast is wearing the white jerseys. Texas is wearing the black jerseys with the white accents. And here we have another blocker for No Coast hitting the penalty box. Flash Gloria through on her non-scoring pass as Bloody Mary then calls off the jam. If you can't be here in person, or if by chance you can be here, get here tomorrow. Get here now. Come join us. We're so excited to be here, so excited to have you watching. And if you can't be here to check out the Rydell booth, you can always check out Rydell Skates online. They're a proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA.
Here we go into jam number 16, period number 1, 6:15 to go. Vicious Van Gogh on the line against
22, Cleo Smakia. I believe this is the second time, if I'm not mistaken, the second time at the jammer line in the first period. They've been really sort of dependent on Slam Anderson and Flash Gloria, and I think now they're looking for Cleo Smakia to bring some more energy here and try to make their way through that front line of Texas.
They've definitely got to save legs here, but up against Polygon and Sarah Heupel. Vicious Van Gogh around the outside. She is your lead jammer for Texas. Looks like we've got Killa Salmonella in the box for Texas, and Thicker Than a Snicket standing, about to come out.
Vicious Van Gogh running up into a wall there of Letitia Lesson and 187 Nikilia, and she picked up a major back blocking penalty. Oh,
back block goes on
Vicious
Vicious.
Van Gogh. She's going to the penalty box. She's going to be joined by Killbox 989. This is a power jam for 22 Cleo Smackia No Coast.
So there you go. It is a tale of two periods, potentially ending this period on a up positive note is No Coast. Even though we still have plenty of time, you can hear the crowd behind us just going nuts for some positive momentum here, Spider.
Yeah, No Coast actually having the advantage here as they're skating just purely more skaters on the track as Texas currently sitting a blocker in the penalty box. They're trying to take advantage of this as number 22 Cleo Smackia trying to get around number 22 Polygon. Oh, and here we go. That looks like Polygon headed to the penalty box. That's another blocker in the penalty box for Texas. And that looks like Cleo Smackia pulling up a grand slam. That's 5 in the sky for No Coast.
I believe that might be the first grand slam they've had today and exactly what the doctor ordered, as Texas is having a little bit of sickness in the box as this jam is called. A little bit of yeah coming from the fans from No Coast.
That's right, as Cleo Smackia, number 11, pulls around number 86, the Killa Salmonella, to pick up that 4th point. So it puts another point on the board for No Coast.
So a 9-point jam, 28 to 133. That might be only the second or third jam that Texas has been held scoreless, which is good news, as we've got a timeout on Texas, probably just taking a little bit of a breath, saying, hey, it's okay. But again, these teams are here for a reason, and No Coast can certainly turn it around. They have the athleticism.
Certainly. And you know, some of them actually might, after this, use Dr. Hauschka because they celebrate the fresh faces of the WFTDA. And although you can't stop by their booth, you can stop by their website and get your fresh face today. That's Dr. Hauschka, the WFTDA's official bruise healer. Lose that bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid.
We're getting the Let's Go No Coast cheers in the background. And what are you going to do if you are jamming unopposed? You're going to line up number 32, Flash Gloria. One blocker is Lucille Braw, and that is because there is one blocker standing in the penalty box, which means if there's a seat, they have to sit. You rarely see that. Now Sarah Heupel joins Spider.
That's right, but Vicious Van Gogh now back in as the jammer, but not before No Coast picks up another Grand Slam. So we're working on 2 Grand Slams here for No Coast in just a matter of seconds. That's number 32, Flash Gloria. She's again in rotation, taking advantage of having so many blockers and the jammer in the box for Texas.
Finally gets through the pack is Vicious Van Gogh. Kelly Ripa gets to the penalty box as Flash Gloria calls it off. 2 successful jams and what they needed to turn things around.
Absolutely. So again, looking to maintain that momentum. And again, sometimes it just takes a simple shift before a team can gain that momentum and just go in that upward trajectory. So No Coast looking to maximize on that trajectory and keep going in that forward motion.
And especially as we wind down period number 1, that is important for them as they put Cobra Kai on the line, who has had some success and not some success. So we'll see definitely a second tier right behind Flash Gloria and Slam Anderson. So they need her to be big right now.
Barbara Ambush working with Lucille Brawl for the Texas Rollergirls. Oh, not exactly what the No Coast team was looking for, as Olivia Shooten-John pulls through for the Texecutioners, picks up lead jammer status as number 56 Lucille Brawl tries to get out in front of the No Coast jammer, number 505 Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, but in control, of course, is Olivia Shooten-John as she has lead jam up against and then calling it off.
It's no surprise why that is a highly coveted position, because you, in fact, have all the control of whether or not that other jammer can score points, unless you yourself end in the penalty box, and then you forfeit at that control at that time. But Olivia Shooten-John, you know, again, you talk about that pack awareness, awareness of where everyone else is on the track, and that league has been practicing together for so long. It's second nature to them to sort of have this communication style on the track, so they don't even have to verbalize.
Yes, absolutely. Now back on the line, Flash Gloria, as Vicious Van Gogh pulls her 4th intentional minor, goes to the box. They're going to jam her soon, and that is Bloody Mary for the Texecutioners. We're at a crawl in turn number 2.
That's right, as Belle Starr with, again, tremendous pitching blocking. She actually falls at turn 2, and No Coast jammer, Flash Gloria, able to pull through for lead jammer status, but look at that Bloody Mary's leg. I'm going to make you fight for it. You might hit that pack first, but those are all your skaters. My skaters are all the way out in front.
There you go. So there's no point. So that is a win-win for Texas. A good thought, but if she pushed it a little bit more, she might have been able to. But nonetheless, we're down to 122 here in period number 1, 136 to 37. Wow, what a good bout, regardless of what the score is, ladies and gentlemen, folks, people out there in Derby Nation. Good stuff.
Absolutely. And I think it just goes to show when you come to a tournament level, just the level of play is just that much more accentuated. Even if the score doesn't reflect it, the level of play does.
Olivia Shooten-John making her way through the inside and through the pack. She is your lead jammer, and held still in the pack again is Slam Anderson.
Oh, so they're really working hard against Slam Anderson, 34 Double D in the white jersey. That 2-wall of Texas just keeping it. However, the majority of the pack actually in back. They're forced to allow her to go. So she does get through on her non-scoring pass. That's 34 Double D of Slam Anderson. But Olivia Shooten-John through for a 4-point scoring pass, putting another 4 points on the scoreboard. We have 19 seconds left on the period clock.
See if they're going to use one of their timeouts. Probably not.
I would think not going into half.
In this sense, there's not a lot of reason to do that.
Yeah, because you're going to keep that for the final moments, should you want to use that in the final moments of the game. Currently sitting at 140 in favor of Texas to no coast 30 seconds. And we are now going into halftime.
So we're going to go into period number 2, 140 to 37 in favor of Texas, but it could be a different tale this period. What do you think?
It could. I mean, if No Coast could turn this around and put a different spin on it, I do believe that they could definitively come within reach of the Texas Rollergirls. They showed that spirit in the first half, refused to give up. And, you know, Derby's just like that. You refuse to give in, you refuse to give up. You continue to push through, do your best, skate harder, learn more. Because what an opportunity to skate against the Texas Rollergirls. I mean, come on now.
But like everybody else, we all start with from the same scratch of paper, and we've got to make our way. Texas doing so far, and one of the things that No Coast is going to have to either prevent or change is the difference in lead jams and grand slams. Two of the stats that I take as announcer. So these are unofficial, but it certainly tells the tale. We've got, I believe, 19 or 20 grand slams for Texas versus 2 for No Coast. 11. Lead jammer status for Texas to 8, which is a little deceiving.
I would agree.
Now they're going to line it back up here as we are about to start period number 2. 30 minutes on the clock. A wall of No Coast lining up at the jammer line as we've got Bloody Mary, and I'm going to guess Flash Glory, but I can't see.
I am going to guess Flash Gloria as well. We are not at the perfect vantage point here as we cannot see her number. She's obscured entirely by Bloody Mary.
It is Flash Glory, and here we go. No pack starts. Flash Glory is trying to make her way through. Bloody Mary trying to take a little bit of time to see where she can find that right spot as Kelly Rippon-Nibbeloff is holding Bloody Mary back.
She's working really well with Velvet Crush, and there goes Flash Glory. She pulls through the last line of defense. That's number 33, Loose Bandit, and oh, look at that. Number 30, Bloody Mary, right on her. She's going to pull out in front of her, and it isn't working in their favor to not call it off. The time is working against No Coast, so there's no point to waste any time. As soon as she gets in front, you're done.
Yeah, so there you go. A nice try at a strategy there for No Coast, but Bloody Mary killing that strategy by staying and getting out of the pack and staying up front. But they're going to try it again. This is something we don't see a lot here as much in the South Central. Lining up, out of play, up against the jam line. It'll be an interesting jam here because we haven't seen much today of it.
I was going to say, wow. Because I've seen a lot of it recently. So if you didn't get to see Westerns last weekend, again, WFTDA.com, purchase those DVDs, watch the high quality stream. Those are archived for a certain amount of time. And here we are with No Coast really fighting to stay into this, and this is not what they wanted. She picked up a minor back blocking penalty. That'll be her 4th minor. That'll send her to the penalty box. This is a power jam for Olivia Shooten-John, and this is not where you want Olivia Shooten-John to be if you're on the opposing team, because she just again, is a powerhouse. She can maximize, capitalize on those situations. And here she goes around on the outside. She's just going to juke to the right, pull right around. I believe that was Kelly Ripa up at the front. And I apologize because I can't see her from this vantage point.
Yet another Grand Slam for Olivia Shooten-John 2 years ago in Atlanta. She had some record-setting jams. She's starting out early here today as No Coast has a 4-wall up front. Texas kind of trying to control, holding the pace at the back. No pack situation. Nobody was penalized as they form together again. 4-wall up front, Spider, for No Coast.
Yeah, doing a really nice job. Looks like number 86, the Kill Salmonella, going to try to get up and break up that 4-wall as... wow, the pivot just jumping over people, and No Coast able to hold that front wall really well. However, they're working at the back of the pack here to trap a skater, and No Coast able to get through. She's back in the pack, but Olivia Shooten-John picking up another Grand Slam for the Texas Roller Girls.
Absolutely textbook work by Texas as they have not been too much in the penalty box, but a little bit as we see Sarah Heupel stand up, but definitely controlling the play and controlling this lady right here, Slam Anderson, as she finally makes her way through, but not before the jam is called.
Yeah, Olivia Shooten-John gets through for another point, 4 points. A last-minute hit by 402, thicker than a snicka. She's just amazing with those hip checks, that girl. And if you want to, I imagine generally and historically 5-on-5 magazine has done after tournament sort of reviews and articles about season tournaments, and they are the official magazine of the WFTDA. So check out 5on5mag.com.
Flash Gloria and Vicious Van Gogh, one in the box. I believe that's thicker than a snicka for No Coast, but your lead jammer is Vicious Van Gogh, getting out front in her black with red accents.
It's just a tumble of skaters there on the straightaway. And there goes Flash Gloria through the pack. She is not your lead jammer as Vicious Van Gogh pulls through for a 4-point jam already.
Pack to a crawl led by Molotov Impale and Loose Bandit on the back stretch. Flash Gloria being held up by the one that is Loose Bandit along with Sarah Heupel. Meanwhile, Vicious Van Gogh trying to get through the back of the pack.
As Molotov Impale joins number 33, Loose Bandit up at the front of the back. Huge sort of catch up there. I believe that was Velvet Crush.
And we've got, meanwhile, a power jam as 5 points are scored by Vicious Van Gogh as Flash Gloria goes to the box, I believe for the first time, at least as a jammer for sure, today. As meanwhile, Vicious Van Gogh slowing down to the pack but trying to get yet another Grand Slam. And that is it, a Cinco de Go-Go.
As pack advantage also going here to the Texecutioners as they're skating with 3 in the pack to No Coast's 2 in the pack as Velvet Crush number 11 takes a trip to the penalty box as well.
No Coast need to turn the energy around and do a little bit of cheering. I know we're getting a lot of Texas kills out there by their fans, but there's also a lot of people that want to see the underdog knock off the big dog on the block. But Texas still has a huge amount of work to do, not only here, but if you've seen the competition in this region and, of course, the 2 previous regions that have played, it's a long road to Denver.
Right, and after they work so hard, they may consider using Union Vacations, who is a proud provider of the WFTDA MVP 1-week getaway to Mexico.
You know who needs a getaway after that, and that is lead jammer Bloody Mary for the Texecutioners. Is a 3-wall up front and a 3-wall slow at the back by Texas. Interesting strategy. They're split apart. They're going to let the jammer do the work, and if you're Bloody Mary, she can do it, and she does.
I don't know that I've ever seen quite the formation like that as they actually just stacked up right in front of each other. Huge hit on Belle Starr. She was knocked to the center of the track, and I believe that was by Kelly Ripa. No. And then Judo No, 10:55 now hitting the penalty box. Number 11, Velvet Crush now re-entering. There's the whistle to end the jam. Holy moly.
Great stuff by Texas as the fans back behind us are clamoring, but interesting strategy to keep those 2-3 groupings together, if you will. They were wanting for destroying the pack behind us, but it was nice strategy, interesting to see. But taking advantage was Texas, and now lining up Cobra Kai and Olivia Shootin'
Olivia Shootin' being used in high rotation, and obviously because she's so effective, she's going to try to get around Velvet Crush on that inside line. She changes her mind and goes on the outside to pick up lead jammer status. That's Olivia Shootin' for the Texas Rollergirls.
Meanwhile, a major penalty being called as emerging through the pack is Cobra Kai. The major penalty is on the no-coast pivot.
Yeah, that's number 726, Dropkick Muffy. So she joined Judo No, number 1055, both sitting in the penalty box. So this is going to bring a huge disadvantage here to No Coast as we go into this jam, as there are 2 blockers sitting in the penalty box. Pure numbers in favor of Texas.
Absolutely, 182 to 41, lining up on the Dr. Hauschka jam line. Again, Flash Gloria, and donning the star for the first time for Texas today, Sarah Heupel. I know some people in Detroit are also watching and applauding her.
Flash Gloria looking to go on the outside line, and it looks like number 37, Broken Hearts, cutting the track. I don't think so. I think there were too many skaters. She was wearing the pivot helmet cover.
She was wearing one of those also. But anyway, yes, it does look like she cut the track. So, so we've got a power jam for Flash Gloria. And more whistles being blown as we've got a slow-moving pack led by Lucille Brawl.
As Courtesy Lay is now sending another skater off the track. That's number 699, Champagne, headed to the penalty box to join the pivot, 726, Dropkick Muffy. Number 56 for the Texecutioners, Lucille Ball, doing a nice job recycling to the back. She's going to join up with number 1600, Barbara Ambush. Number 22 for the Texecutioners, Polygon, just straight turns around to look at her.
Flash Glory at the back of the pack, slow moving as it is. Flash Glory really needed to take advantage of this power jam situation, but not in command as Sarah Heupel is now standing, so she will be back on the track soon as we still have 40 seconds to go in this jam. Spider?
Flash Glory trying to connect there with Sarah Heupel. Sarah Heupel then juking to the right, coming back to the left, and the jam is called as No Coast picks up 3 points. And it seems that White 3-7 Broken Hearts picked up her 4th minor. And what I was trying to say earlier is that there were too many skaters on the track. She was wearing the pivot helmet cover, and she was on the track. She took it off and actually took a seat at the bench because the rest hadn't noticed she was there. So then at the end of this, she incurred that 4th minor because she didn't impact play. So now she's going to sit in the penalty box.
Okay, good, nice clarification as we have got Cleo Smackia up against Vicious Van Gogh for Texas, up against a small 2-wall, but through lead jammer Vicious.
Yeah, as Texas holding that huge 4-wall at the back there to stave off Cleo Smackia, number 22 in the white jersey. Because again, if you just turned in, Texas Rollergirls skating against No Coast. Texas in the black jerseys with red lettering, and No Coast in the white jerseys. There's a grand slam there for Vicious Van Gogh, 1853, and she pulls through the pack seemingly unopposed. I mean, she just makes that stuff look easy as she just glides through.
She did take a commanding lead of this jam and is doing exactly what they've got her in there for, as Belle Starr helps her out, but almost, I would say, virtually untouched. Again, Vicious Van Gogh for yet another grand slam.
Loose Bandit, number 33, really giving a run for her money to 22 Cleo Smackia from No Coast. Loose Bandit, a powerhouse herself as a blocker, and there goes Vicious Van Gogh. She pulls through for another grand slam, and the Texecutioners are soon to break the 200 mark.
we have got a deadened auditorium, not because people are excited about the Derby, but because Texas is starting to put a beating on No Coast. But don't let it fool you. Again, No Coast is playing hard. They are up against the powerhouse that is Texas. They have a chance to come back and improve tomorrow, but they've got a long way to go with 18 minutes and change left here, Spider.
So we're going to start off with 505 Cobra Kai. She's going to go up against the familiar, the fantastic number 30 Bloody Mary for the Texas Rollergirls. It does look like Curvette taking a knee, the Killa Salmonella taking a knee, number 11 Velvet Crush for No Coast taking a knee. Okay then.
That was a stretched out attempt at trying to get the jam started.
But I see exactly what they did. So Killa Salmonella Salmonella jumped up, knocked her to the center of the track, the jammer. 505 Cobra Kai then cycled way back to the jammer line, forcing her re-enter behind her.
Bloody Mary through the pack gets a minor track cut, so she is not lead jam as she goes by her coaches, pointing at her head going, I know what I need to do. But needless to say, she is out because the jammer for that Cobra Kai, is still stuck in the pack, Spider.
Judo no, 10:55 in the penalty box again. I've counted at least 4 times in the penalty box for her, so they're really going to have to try to cut down the penalties for her because they're not going to want to leave her. And you can hear her screaming. That would actually be 1055 Judo no.
Yes.
You can hear her all the way up here.
Bloody Mary, interesting strategy as Texas is holding up signals to clarify what the strategy is, as Bloody Mary is now stuck at the front of the pack, getting a little bit of assistance from Curvette, who is actually holding back Cobra Kai until she goes down out of play.
And there goes 101 Letitia Lesson into the penalty box for No Coast. She's joining 1055 Judo no as Bloody Mary again pulls through, picks up some more points.
First 200-point mark we've set here this weekend so far. 2:07 to 44, 16 minutes and 36 seconds left to go.
And some of the bruises being dealt, these ladies will deal with through Dr. Hauschka and their amazing bruise healing and skincare products. Check them out online, Dr. Hauschka.
On the line, Slam Anderson up against, that is Sarah Heupel, formerly known as Killbox, who she's listed at, but goes by Sarah Heupel. She's stuck in the back of the pack as Kelly Rippin-Nipple gets into the box.
So it's good that Judo no just stood up and she's going to re-engage in pack play. So that provided a place for Kelly Ripa to sit down in the penalty box.
Kelly Ripa was off to the penalty box is what I was trying to say, as Sarah Heupel, your lead jammer, is your lead jammer, as Olivia Shooten-John now going to join her up front. Blue Bandit, who is not jammed, doing damage on pivot.
Yeah, she tries to get out in front of Slam Anderson. Slam Anderson able to get around that positional block as she gets to the pack. Not your lead jammer. However, Texas pulling through for, 3 more points.
3 more points, 207 to 44. We hope that you out there are having a good time. Of course, we've had the East, we've had the West. We are now at the South. We have the finish of this bout and one more bout here today before we finish day 1. And things are going a little to plan and not a little to plan. We've had some upsets, so it continues to get interesting even as this day finishes.
Yes, and we have an official timeout being called here, so we'll wait for some information about that, and I'll tell you a little bit about our sponsors, Elemental Technologies, the most powerful video processing solution, so we want you to check out Elemental Technologies, and we want to thank some of our tournament partners, Green Monster Roller Sports, as run by Quadzilla, if some of you may know him, and Fast Girl Skates, another tournament partner, Merch Mama.
As we've got a meeting now, they disperse. Again, we always appreciate our referees. The ones we love to hate and hate to love, the hardest job in roller derby. of course, are the referees, but it is about the skaters as we go into jam number 10, period number 2, Flash Gloria.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Flash Gloria was just dancing back and forth behind the line as she saw number 5, Smarty Pants, sitting on the line in front of her. So she was trying to throw her off her mark, I think, a little bit. However, it worked in favor of number 8153, Vicious Van Gogh for the Texecutioners as she pulls through, picking up lead jammer status as Flash Gloria gets knocked down on turn 1.
Yeah, taking control in the front of the pack, getting knocked down, but back up quickly as Vicious Van Gogh. Texas has solved the problem that is Flash Gloria to some extent as they have held her at bay. She now finally gets through the pack. But Vicious Van Gogh in control along with the Texecutioners.
It's a testament to the Texecutioners being able to adapt so well and seeing where some of those points are being distributed on the other team, and they're able to change up their strategy enough to sort of control those elements. So again, a testament to how long and how well they really respond to other teams and other types of gameplay.
Well, we are down to 13 minutes, 45 seconds. Still plenty of time for No Coast to make this a better presentation for them going into tomorrow, but Texas trying to stay solid as they put Sarah Heipel back on the line. Up against that is Cleo Smacky, I believe.
And if you don't agree with some of the calls today, oh, she's going to get a major illegal procedure. That is Sarah Heipel, 989 kill box, headed to the penalty box. So this is a power jam for No Coast. However, the jammer for No Coast getting hung up at, she's going to get called for a back block penalty, and she's heading to the penalty box. And so we're going to have rotating jammers. Sarah Heipel will stand up as soon as number 22, Cleo Smakia stands up.
So even
down.
though she had a penalty, a little bit of a sloppy play to cause that penalty, she gets released pretty quickly and back out, but we will have no lead jammer. She is through for her initial pass, so she's eligible to score points as we have the pivot for No Coast going to the penalty box.
It's Dropkick Muffy, number 726, wearing the white jersey. If you just turned in, Texas wearing black, No Coast wearing white in this huge battle.
Beautiful concentration as two skaters come out of the penalty box at the same time. Bloody Mary directs to get in front of the jammer, Cleo Smakia, and they stick her at the back of the pack. Beautiful work and keeping their head on a swivel was Texas. Meanwhile, Sarah Heipel through for 5 points.
Yeah, Champagne actually delivering a little bit of a shoulder check there. And I don't know if she actually picked up a minor penalty for blocking out of play. It does look like Champagne now heading to the penalty box as Sarah Heipel picking up 5 points to put on the scoreboard for Texas.
Well, you can see the wear and tear starting to hit the bodies and the faces of the No Coast girls. They seem to be just trying to go through the motions out there as Texas is definitely taking a command on them. Hopefully, as we always wish, the most important thing for No Coast is to take away what they can from this and move on, because Texas will tell you they want nothing better but everybody else to continue to get better. So there's always something good. There's always lemonade out of lemons.
That's right. And so if you have questions about the rules, you're at WFTDA.com. There's also an application that's provided by Spenlin. So they have a rules app for your smartphone. So if you have any questions, you can download that right now and check out all the rules, and you can bookmark things, and you can bring it up to referees later. Or, I don't know, question Chip Queso. I say everyone question Chip Queso.
I may or may not answer you depending on how nice the questions are, but certainly cool to have an app like that as we're getting some applause, which we will gracefully say they deserve for the No Coast ladies, as we are down to about 11 minutes to go.
And it looks like a team timeout in favor of Texas, interestingly enough. And so they're in the center having a conversation probably about some minor penalty, major penalty that was called on a skater. But again, that's just from this vantage point. That is not an official comment.
Olivia shooting John. Oh, wait. And that was a questionable call, but the call stands. False start major is what he said.
So no stranger to the jammer line. That's number 32, Flash Gloria, wearing the white jersey, going up against Olivia Shooten-John 0-3 wearing the black jersey. Oh, and all of Texas on a knee.
On a knee, we've got Miss Ambush, we've got Belle Star, Lucille Brawl, and Killa Salmonella holding down the pack as getting lead jammer over the apex jump, but then got knocked to the inside, which is what you saw. But as quick as I said that, she's back to the pack against Spider.
That's right on the inside line as Dropkick Muffy back in pack play. Flash Glory going to try to get around number 56, Lucille Brawl from the Texecutioners. Texecutioners doing a fantastic job recycling again to the front of the pack. So much movement. Oh, no coast. Jammer going to the penalty box for a fourth minor. Forearm penalty.
Forearm, yep.
Oh, dear. And this is the power jam for the Texecutioners.
A big hit from Thicker Than a Snicka on sandwiching Olivia Shooten-John, but she gets back up and says, I got 5 points regardless of that hit, but they're not going to let her go easily, them being no coast.
Texecutioners walking that strong 3-wall at the back, forcing the no coast skaters to come all the way back to them, and Olivia Shooten-John now trying to get around number 699, Champagne, as she's working up there. Oh dear, I think that's Judo No. But I apologize if that is incorrect, fans in the Derby world. Oh, and there's another 5 points. There's the thumb for Olivia Shooten-John 0-3. Well, you always got to look for the thumb. Sometimes on some referees, it's more obvious than others. I don't know why that is.
Are you trying to say something about the referee's thumb size?
Maybe.
Anyway, back to the action on the track. Olivia Shooten-John gets a back block major. Her first time to the penalty box today. She sits down. Already standing was Flash Gloria, so really she's going to have to serve pretty much that whole minute.
Belle Star trying to run a hip check there on Flash Gloria. Flash Gloria gets around her, and now they're trapping Belle Star at the back. So that's number 402, number 699, 726, and I can't see that number 187 working for No Coast. Oh, look at that, number 56, Lucille Brawl with a huge hit on the jump for No Coast. Does not stop her, however. Belle Star heading to the penalty box. No Coast, number 32, Flash Gloria picking up a grand slam.
Not many people go to the penalty box as graceful as Belle Star does. It is another fourth minor. She had just served a major, so now she's been in the box for a few times. I don't think she's in danger, and this late may not matter, but again, the fans behind us screaming because they do love their No Coast as they've got a power jam No Coast.
That's right, so 34 Double D Slam Anderson. The No Coast fans going absolutely bananas behind me. Slam Anderson trying to move around the last line to defend Loose Bandit, number 33. Loose Bandit just able to stay on top of her for at least a lap. This is fantastic.
Loose Bandit, the not a rookie anymore, but a very young, not even of legal drinking age, and doing great work in the front of the pack. They've got to let her go, though. She finally gets through, finally gets lead jam, but that was like 3 rotations, I believe.
Right. So Texas working with 2 on the pack to No Coast 4 on the pack. So it's sort of a evolution and a change, a revolving door there as we just switch it up. So Texas now at a disadvantage with blockers. However, No Coast definitely at the disadvantage in points in general, as 34 Double D Slam Anderson running into Loose Bandit, Vicious Van Gogh, and here comes Belle Star.
Belle Star back out, but through the pack again is Olivia Shooten-John. Of course, she is not lead jam, but then we've got a fourth minor back block. So Slam Anderson is going back to the box. We got quite a revolving door with the... And then, yet, when I said revolving door, Spider, that's exactly what I meant.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to appear that we have a jammerless jam, but it's not entirely true. So what's happening is the first skater actually has to... Oh, dear me. Here she goes, 34 Double D. She's back in the action. Olivia Shooten-John. She's about to go. I mean, really, you got to give me a break here. I'm just trying to explain it to you as I see it.
Now, she took the long way around the track, but Olivia took the short way, got in about the same time, so a full compliment when Thicker Than the Snicka gets back on the track for No Coast. Olivia Shooten-John through 5 more points.
7 minutes left on the period clock. And there is the whistle as No Coast picks up another 4 points from the scoreboard for them, bringing them to 53. Texas sitting at 247. No Coast definitely showing some wear and tear here as we're working on a little less than 7 minutes left.
So Derby fans worldwide, are you having fun yet? As we've got a little bit of a timeout. Yeah, the score may be a little bit of a crazy thing right now here in favor of Texas, but in general, it has been an absolutely amazing tournament season so far. Once again, we've already had the East and the West. Congratulations, by the way, Miss Spider there. From a what happened last week? What was that?
Oh yeah, at Western Regional Playoffs, the Ole Rollers actually took the #1 seed going into championships in Denver.
Oh, and who do you announce for?
Oh, I announced for the Ole Rollers.
There you go. It was a hard fought back again with Rocky Mountain, but that was a great. And then of course we've got the triple monster of Gotham and Philly and Charm there on the East Coast. So looking to join them are some of these teams. So far, Texas looks like they're going to be made through. We've still got Kansas City to see. And, of course, 2 more days of fabulous action.
Right, and the people from Western's coming, the Ole Rollers, #1 seed, Rocky Mountain Rollergirls from Denver, and Rose City Rollers making quite the statement there at the tournament in their hometown. So looking forward to that. Huge pileup here on turn 1 as we get back to No Coast taking on the Texas Rollergirls. And it does look like Bloody Mary through, no pass, no penalty. She does not pick up lead jammer status. And they're really making Flash Glare work for it. She gets through, passes the hips of the last skater, who I believe was Curvette. She calls off the jam, not wasting any time.
It's all she could do there. There is 6 minutes and change to go, heading into jam number 15. Cleo Smackia lining up on the inside for No Coast, and first time to the line as a jammer, number 02. That would be Shortcut for Texas.
And we want you to check out rollergirlskates.com, and you could look for opportunities to buy wheels from rollergirlskates.com.
Full complement in the pack for both.
An initial lead off the line was actually number 22, Cleo Smacku for No Coast, wearing the white jersey. She gets a hard hit to the outside. She's holding her nose. She's getting back in play as Texas just sort of waits for her to re-enter the track.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's got a couple of little butterflies floating over her head as she kind of is standing still, working on it, still messing with her mouth and her face there a little bit as the jam is called.
She actually might be bleeding, so they're going to ask her, I think, if she's bleeding, because we, all the EMTs would come and correct that.
That was on the far side of the track from our vantage point, so we didn't see what the hit was. I don't think there was a penalty called for it, but certainly there's a lot of shoulder to chin and related action in this fabulous sport that is women's flat track roller derby. So we've now are going to have lining up Olivia Shooten-John, and she will be joined by Flash Gloria, but not gonna be joined. She got waved off, didn't make it to the track. She doesn't have to be at the jam line, but she has to be on the track. Did not do it. That is a miscue. She's sitting at power jam unopposed, and Texas didn't even force that.
So here we go as Olivia Shooten-John through. She is not, she is your lead jammer, and it looks like Judo No taking another trip to the penalty box. So
that may be a bad magic number. We'll see. But meanwhile, the pack through the back stretch there as we've got a small 2-wall up front up against Olivia Shooten-John.
It looks like 699 Champagne just running into number 1889 Bell Star. There goes Olivia Shooten-John pulling through for a grand slam.
Very curious to see what the grand slam count is for Olivia Shooten-John. She has definitely done damage on the jammer line. She goes through on one skate, untouched. You can see the slowed body movements right now of No Coast. Again, I'm sure the fans out there are clamoring for their team, and we do love them very much, but they are definitely beat up and slowed down on the track right now.
And here we go, Judo No 10:55 for No Coast. Now standing up for that 10 seconds. Huge fall for Olivia Shooten-John. She's getting some assist by number 56, Lucille Brawl, to get back up on her skates. No Coast forming the 3-wall at the front of the pack. Going to try to shut down Olivia Shooten-John, which is no easy task.
So trying to bridge here is No Coast, trying to hold back Olivia Shooten-John as they do a good job as Smarty Pants comes in and does a back block major, but whatever the case is, it releases Olivia Sheet-John. Sometimes those penalties, you just gotta take them.
Yeah, they say it. Sometimes that penalty is just worth it. She picks up another 5 points. Putting that nickel in the bank there for the Texecutioners. And when I spend a nickel, I'm going to spend that on Union Vacations. They are proud to provide the 2011 WFTDA MVP at championships in Denver with a 1-week getaway to Mexico. I wonder if that MVP would take me, even if I paid my own way.
Maybe so. You can sweet talk them, but regardless, we're so glad for some of the sponsors and people involved here with women's flat track roller derby as we head into the next jam. This time on the inside is Bloody Mary. On the outside is Flash Gloria.
We haven't really seen that much. Flash Gloria usually preferring the inside line, and it looks like Bloody Mary and many of the Texas Roller Girls not really minding which side, inside or outside, that they actually pick up at.
Yeah, they don't seem to jostle too much about that. Flash Gloria stuck in the back of the pack behind Vicious Van Gogh, who has got the pivot stripe on now. As on the outside, she's trying to get through, one to get past, that is Molotov Impale.
At number 402, that's thicker than a snicka, getting in there, try to clear away. Look at that, no coast. Number 32, Flash Gloria through, and she is your lead jammer. That's no coast.
But you know, Flash Gloria had been so heavily worked today. As soon as she got out, instead of forcing getting to the pack, she turned around and looked at Bloody Mary, which just enforced Bloody Mary now catching up with her, probably going to be forcing the jam here. So Flash Gloria also looking a little bit tired.
Interestingly enough, again, the clock not working in favor of no coast. We have about a minute on the period clock, and she gets through. She's fighting really hard to get around Smarty Pants, number 5. She does it. She picks up some points, 4 points.
Nice. Yeah, Texas is not stopping here. They're trying to prove out there to the world, the nation, the South Central especially, that they mean business and they need to try to bring the Hydra back home. As Smarty Pants came, shot to the front of the pack, held back. Good work by Texas. And again, we can't say enough about No Coast. They're at the lower end of the score, but what they're doing out there, the way they're skating, the way they run their league, absolutely top notch. So they have nothing but pride.
So Sarah Heupel then hitting the back of the pack. Oh, a lovely move by Judo No there, knocking Sarah Heupel out at between turn 1 and turn 2. Now you get a little bit. Oh, look, No Coast picking up lead jammer status. That's 34 Double D, Slam Anderson.
Now it looks like Sarah Heupel's chance to get knocked in the mouth as she got bumped by the back of a shoulder, put her hand directly to their mouth. Both jammers out of the pack as Sarah Heupel goes down, but in control. I talk faster as the action picks up, Spider.
That's right. This is a huge jammer, 34 Double D, Slam Anderson, as she actually laps around Sarah Heupel, picking up a grand slam. Sarah Heupel very close to her, but Slam Anderson just refusing to give up. The period clock has ended. This will be the last jam, and No Coast is going out with a bang.
As she calls off that jam, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for the final unofficial as they put in the score. We will wait for it, and it looks like that might be correct. It says unofficial, so we will wait for the clarification, but currently it states No Coast 64 and your Texecutioners 273.
And I'm standing here talking to one of my favorite Texecutioners. I say that because I don't want to get hurt. But I'm standing with Vicious Van Gogh, and Vicious, again, another fantastic showing. I've gotten to see you guys play a number of times this year, and it just seems like you can put together rosters and rosters of different people and always have chemistry. How do you guys do that?
A lot of time together, a lot of practice time, and just having the same goal and having the same focus. So I think knowing that we all want to go in to win and just being together and working on things together has been, I guess, a big part of our success, yeah.
And it's obvious that the communication out on the track, to me, whether it's verbal or just, it's like you're in each other's heads. Because you rush to places at the same time, and it blows me away. And is that come just really from practice time?
It's magic. It's black magic. No, it's just no. It is. It's a lot of being together. One of our goals is communication this year, and whether it be physical or verbal. So thank you for noticing, and yeah, that's something we're working on.
Now, of course, everybody is all pumped up about a meeting between you and Kansas City, probably the most fantastic rivalry we've had in the sport. There's other teams that things that got to be played, but you guys got to be pretty pumped up about that.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're ready to bring it home to our home, our league, and everybody. But that's one we're looking forward to. We just have another one to get through, so we're not underestimating our opponent. So yeah.
No, very good. Thank you so much. It's Bob Noxious with Vicious Van Gogh. We'll take it back to up to the guys.